ॐ वंशी विभूषितकरान्नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरादरुणबिम्बफलाधरोष्ठात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। ॐ श्रीकृष्णाय नमः. Welcome you all to the Friday scripture class, and today's scripture is Uddhava Gita. In Uddhava Gita, we have finished chapter 8 of the book Uddhava Gita, the last message of Sri Krishna, translated by Swami Madhavananda. And today we are beginning chapter 9. And in last chapter, we studied that how to reply the question of Sanaka brothers, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumara, their father, creator, Brahma. They approached Brahma, and Brahma had no answer for the question they asked, how to control the senses from going to sense objects. So then they all prayed to the Supreme Lord, to Vishnu, and Vishnu came in the form of Hamsa, wise person, and replied to them that senses and sense objects are all part of Maya. And instead of trying to control one from other, try to understand that those both are not yourself. Your self, your true self, your Atman is separate from both senses and sense objects and mind. And this mind, senses, and sense objects are all uh, are all the play of Maya that they come to the witness consciousness, this blissful witness consciousness. That is the reality, and that is your true self. So fix yourself in your true self, and then this mind and senses and sense objects and their interconnection will not disturb you, and that is the only way how you can get rid of your attachment or aversion to the sense objects, your mind's aversion totally. And after giving this message to all the rishis and these four Sanaka brothers and the Brahma, the Lord, in the form of Hamsa, or wise person, he again went back as he had come after giving the message that they had asked for from Brahma. So, by the invocation of Brahma, the Lord himself came. Now, after telling the story of how he came to teach Brahma and the rishis in the past, Sri Krishna himself came, he said. Now, next chapter, Uddhava asks again, because it is all about more of Jnana Yoga. So, Uddhava is now asking about Bhakti, because in Bhagavatam is such a wonderful combination of Bhakti and Jnana, ultimate of Bhakti and Jnana. So, beautiful scripture. So, benefiting all those who seek Advaita Jnana, or the wisdom of truth, can satisfy their logical aspiration of their mind, and also their heart's desire to love the sweet one, to love the Rama, to love the Krishna. So that it can do. So Uddhava asks in this question, page the first verse of chapter 9, page 126. Uddhava Uvacha Vadanti Krishna Shreyamsi Bahuni Brahmavadina Tesham Vikalpa Pradhanyam Utaho Ekamukhyata. O Krishna, the teachers of Brahman speak of various means of attaining well being. Are all of them equally important, or only one is the foremost of them? Now, various teaching of those who have taught, who have known the truth, and they teach in various ways according to they feel the need of the recipients or the students. But for a newcomer, it becomes contradictory, it becomes variety, which one to follow. Or all these are important for our spiritual evolution? Should we practice little by little each one? Or one of them is very important and we should stick to that? So that was Uddhava's very pertinent question. Seeing the varieties of teaching that we find in Sanatana Dharma in Hinduism, from Dvaita to Shistadvaita to Advaita, so many philosophies that God lives in the heaven, and then God is immanent in this universe, and God alone is the reality. These three types of philosophy they come. So that's how Sri Krishna wants to, Arjuna wants from Sri Krishna to understand. So it is said in Mahabharata also. Mahabharata also, Yaksha replied to, actually, Yudhishthira replied to Yaksha's question, what is dharma? And Yudhishthira replied that Tarko Pratishta Sutayo Vivinnaha Naiko Rishiryasya Matam Navinna धर्मस्य तत्त्वं निहितं गुहायां महाजनो येन गतः sapantha. He said that dharma is described variously, but tarko apratishta, what nothing can be well established that this alone is right that by any logic or reasoning, because all are correct in different ways to different persons. So tarko apratishta shrutayo vivinna. Vedas describe the truth in various ways. Shrutayo means Vedas in vivinna, in various ways. Naiko rishirya samitam na vinna. There is no rishi whose opinion do not differ. So all rishis differ in their explanation of the truth. So, what is to be the dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam? The truth of the dharma or spirituality is hidden deep into the cave of the heart. That is very difficult to really get it. So that's what Yudhishthira is describing Yaksha. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. So if there is so many varieties of opinions and instructions and explanations, which one to follow? That was the question. Which one to follow? Which you would like to follow? So like exactly the question that Uddhava asked to Sri Krishna, which one to follow? There are so many varieties of teachings. The Yudhishthira also said that there are different kinds of teachings of the Vedas, and none of them is established. Only one of them is right because all are right. The truth told and explained in various ways. And there is not one single teacher who says this is the right and all teachers accept him. Not that. Everyone has their opinion. Like you see, Shankara established Advaita. Then after that came Ramanuja, and he very strongly established Vishishtadvaita on the ground. You see, another thought came, Vishishtadvaita. God is not separate. God is immanent in this world, and whole this seeing this visible, perceptible universe is not unreal. It is real, and it is a part of God. The world, visible world, and sentient soul, and the Ishvara, all together they form the body and soul of God. So God is that infinite being which has for its body is the soul and this Prakriti, and that as the body and his own soul, the Ishvara, and all together make the supreme being, which is may have form, may not have form, but there is no harm in the Supreme Being appearing as form in this world. So, like that, the teaching of Vishishtadvaita. Then comes Dvaita of Madhva, and he says, no, God is totally different from this universe. He is somewhere else. He guides, creates this universe. He is the Lord of the universe. To love Him alone is our duty. We are totally separate from God. We are not one with God. We are separate from God. We are just His servant, just His child, and enjoy your association with God in any of the five different relationships. And that is the thing that we can do, says the Madhva. Madhu Acharya is Madhva Acharya. It is not Madhva Acharya, it's Madhva Acharya. So and Shankara said, according to Advaita, whole this reality is only one. Either say Brahman, that includes everyone, which is one with our Atma. So that's what Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. Jiva, each individual soul is Jiva, and this Jagat is Mithya, it's ever changing, it is ever changing reality. It's not the ultimate reality, it's ever changing reality, it's Mithya. So That's what Advaita said. There's only one existence, not the three existences that combine together to make one Brahman. Only one Brahman is there that appears as soul, appears as nature, appears as Ishvara. But all these three are one reality called Brahman. So that was Advaita. So even you see from the Vedas, all they draw their wisdom from the Vedas and from their own experience, and they describe that way. There is no one rishi who is accepted by all. That's why it says, Naiko Rishir yes matam na vinnam vinna. There's no there's only one rishi who will not differ from other. Every rishi's opinions differ from other. So, and the truth of the dharma, the spirituality, the wisdom lies deep into the cave. It is difficult to explore and approach and arrive there. So, what to do? X, X asked asked um, Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira said, Mahajano ena gatas sapantha. The only is where great person whom you follow, the path that he has trod. Follow that path. Follow your guru, and you will reach there. Leave all opinions aside. Follow your guru, and you will reach there. So here also Uddhava's question is that. Let us see what Krishna answers. Uddhava also said there are so many opinions and ways and paths to spirituality. All those different kinds of things to be practiced, little by little, everything, or we should follow only one, which is the best. Can you tell Krishna that one? He said. Next verse also is the request of Uddhava to Krishna. Bhavato darita swamin bhakti yogo napekshitah nirasya sarvata sangam ena toya vishen manah. Thou too hast described the path of devotion to the Lord, which is independent of other means, by which the mind, getting rid of attachment to everything, merges in thee. Already Uddhava had opinion then Bhakti Yoga is the best. He thinks Krishna has said Bhakti Yoga is the best because it reaches you to the goal and is not dependent on any other path, and it reaches you and merges oneself in you, removing all our attachment to this world. So that is Uddhava's opinion. After asking which path is right, should he follow one path? Uddhava already put one path forward. He thought that Sri Krishna's main teaching was bhakti, and says, or bhakti is the best, which is independent, which doesn't depend on other paths, and which has the quality and which has the strength to take our soul by removing all our attachment to the objects of the world and merge itself, the soul, into you. When Atma merges in Paramatma. Is the Bhakti Yoga is the best? First he asked, after asking which path is good, after asking we should follow all the paths or one path, and you told Lord, O Krishna, that Bhakti Yoga is that. He said, that's right. Bhakto Dharita Swamin Bhakti Yogo Anapekshita, independent. Thou too hast described the path of devotion to the Lord, which is independent of other means, by which the mind, getting rid of attachment to everything, merges in thee. Sri Krishna had said, of course, Bhakti Yoga is great. He has also said Jnana Yoga is great. If you read Gita, he said Karma Yoga is not less. And he said Dhyana Yoga, the Raja Yoga, it also takes you to the Supreme Being, to spiritual enlightenment. So each path is all great in its own way. But what path suits best to you, follow that. So if you can't even find out which path suits to you, then follow the teachings of a teacher. Mahajana, he is the Mahajana. A teacher whom you want to follow his guidance and you will reach there. So that's what is the Mahabharata saying. Mahajano ena gatas panta. Now let's see what is Krishna's answer. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Sri Bhagavan said, the Lord said, Supreme Lord said, Kalena nasta pralaye vaniyam veda sangita mayado brahmane prokta dharmo yasyam madatmaka. The Lord said, these words of mine, known as the Vedas, which had been destroyed by time at the dissolution of the universe, I first revealed to Brahma. In them is set forth that religion means that spirituality which inclines the mind to me. So he said that great all Vedas are my words. I have given the knowledge of Vedas. The Vedas that humankind has got has come to us because Lord, when He created, He said, it has been destroyed by time. Time is continuous process, and in this creation, the time flows in different yugas. First, when God created Satya Yuga, then it changes into Treta Yuga. Then, after many years, it changes into Dwapara Yuga. Then comes to Kali Yuga. Then, after many recycles of this all four yugas, once it becomes ultimate pralaya, all this creation merges into naught. It becomes again, goes back to God, to Prakriti, the Mula Prakriti, having no differentiation of anything. No yuga, no creation, no variety, only one Prakriti. They are called Mula Prakriti or Adya Shakti or Kali. We call it, love to say Kali. That Mahakali or Kali, which is without any separation, that original Prakriti, that power of God's for creation, and also destruction, also sustenance, that Prakriti it remains there undifferentiated without any world, universe like that. And God, the Prakriti has to again then manifest. So it is all big bang and big crunch. Big crunch has happened. Mahapralaya has happened. Everything has become one. There is no separation. And then again, big bang happened. Now creation starts. In the beginning of creation, says Sri Krishna, Sri Bhagavan said, in the beginning of creation, first is created Brahma. In the Tantra also, this Mula Prakriti first creates Mahat. Mahat means intellect. Intellect is Brahma. From that first, the I sense has to come, some intelligence be there, and that intelligence will further create this universe of so orderly made with so many. You find so much of orderliness in this universe. So all that has come to from some intelligent being, intelligence of the intelligent being. So first created intelligence is called Mahat according to Tantra, and also Sankhya, and also according to Puranas, it's called Brahma. The same thing. So first Brahma is created, and to Brahma says, Lord, I gave these Vedas, my wisdom, my words, how you should live in the world, what are the paths of ethics and morality, what are the paths that will make your life in this world happy, and also the purpose of life is fulfilled by your spiritual hankering, spiritual awakening. So that also is said in the Vedas. So in the Vedas, in the first portion, there's all prayers and how to live in the world, how to grow more wealth, and children, progeny, like that thing, and living together with all coordination and harmony. And later on, it comes to Upanishads when you say, what is to be prayed for? What is the reality? All you see here is all changing phenomenon, but you are unchanging reality. So that's what it says in the Vedas. So these Vedas are the words of God. God gave that to Brahma Mayado Brahmane Prokta. In one of the verse, it is said, we bow down. This is called Mangalacharan, the beginning of many scriptures. So, Yo Brahma, it's from the Upanishads. Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam, Yo Vai Vedang Saprahinoti Tasmai, Tamha Devam Atma Buddhi Prakasham, Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadde. I surrender myself by becoming a mumukshu, or one who strives for freedom, mumukshu, or knowledge. I surrender myself to that supreme being who yo vai vedam, yo brahmanam vidadhati purvam. In the beginning, who created Brahma. And yo vai, after creating Brahma, yo vai vedangsa prahinoti tasmai, and granted the knowledge of Vedas to him. So Brahma and the Vedas came, and this Vedas were meant for whole his creation, all mankind that the Lord is going to create. And that to that Supreme Being who created Brahma and granted Vedas to him, to the Supreme Being, I surrender myself with a desire to realize the truth and be free. So that is what this very verse from the Upanishad says. So here also it is said, I want to Mayado Brahmane Prokta. Sri Krishna says, although in the beginning I told this to Brahma, I gave this knowledge to Brahma. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of Vedas. So Vedas, Brahma is the repository of Vedas. This is the intellect, pure intellect that there creates. It is said that the whole universe is created by the knowledge of Vedas. So Vedas have all the knowledge is all is in the Vedas only, and that by the knowledge of Vedas, Brahma created the universe. By the knowledge of Brahma, Vedas, we want to live in harmony and peace and joy in this world, and according with in ethics and moral life of peace and harmony. With the knowledge of Vedas, we want to get supreme freedom. That's what, and we want to realize God by the Vedas, the knowledge of the Vedas. Whatever is knowledge, the ultimate source of all knowledge is Vedas. Even the knowledge of our so-called science and arts, uh, all these and the language, all that source of all knowledge is Vedas alone. Vedas given by God. So knowledge is not something that we acquire through our brain. Knowledge is already given by God, and from that, whatever we can draw from the pool of knowledge in whatever direction we want to become astrologer, astronomer, physicist, mathematician, great political scientist, economist, or linguistic, or biological scientist, medical scientist, whatever we want to become, all knowledge is called Vedas because it is given by God. Varieties has come, and that knowledge is a part of the Vedas, and the knowledge of Upanishad is the spiritual part of the Vedas. All those are contained in the Vedas. There is no other knowledge than the Vedas. So all this knowledge is given by God Himself. When God grants that, we just withdraw that through this mind we call our mind, but it's all God's instrument in different. In ignorance, we call my mind and my body. It's nothing called my here. It's all divine. All belongs to God. Nothing is mine, and all is given. And by mistake, we say, I learned this, I got this, I succeeded this, I passed this, I invented this. All is Vedanta will say, all is not right. This all idea is incorrect that you invented this. God made this thing invented through the brain, which you call your brain, all granted by God, and something new seems new has come, but all knowledge is already there. So all is by the grace of God and the will of God that has happened. So there is nothing called I have done this. So that's what Sri Krishna says, that I first, these words of mine known as the Vedas, which had been destroyed by time, that is the Mahapralaya, as the dissolution of the universe, at the dissolution of the universe, I first revealed to Brahma. In them is set forth the religion or the spirituality or all the knowledge, actually, this eternal religion. Mayado Brahmane Prokta, Dharmo is the word religion. Here, religion is in footnote, it said he means devotion. Here, devotion or knowledge, whatever is there, that all is put in that Vedas. Set forth that religion or knowledge or devotion, what is there, which inclines the mind to me. That what of this, the of all the knowledge of spirituality, which inclines it to move towards the spiritual awareness. You call it as God, you call it as the truth, as the reality, as the knowledge of unity between your true self and the supreme self, whatever you call, that is what is termed here dharma. Dharma means that highest knowledge here in this verse, it is called. Let's go to next verse, verse number 4. Sri Krishna is continuing. Tena prokta cha putraya manave purvajaya jaya purvajaya sa tato bhrigvadayo gruhnan sapta brahma maharshaya. He declared it unto his eldest son Manu. Who's my eldest son? Brahma's eldest son. So this knowledge of Vedas, Brahma imparted that knowledge to Manu, all knowing. Who is Manu? Manu, from where the Manava comes, ancestor of all humankind. As we have like Adam in the Semitic religion, Adam, like that in Hinduism, it's Manu, the ultimate father of all mankind. So, who is Manu? Is the eldest son of Brahma, from whom the seven patriarchs and sages, Brigu and the rest, got it. The rest are Marichi, Atri, all the seven sages. So all seven sages came um, Brahma, the eldest son Manu, from whom the seven sages and the patriarchs and the sages, Brigu and the rest, got it. So from Manu, they got all these sages were born from Brahma. The eldest was Manu. After that came all this Saptarishi and this four Sanakas. All this could not be, they did not had the progeny or didn't go into family life. They all became monk, all wished for knowledge. So all that happened, and this is the name of Saptarishi. Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulastya, Pulaha, and Kritu. They are the Saptarishis that we see Saptarishi or seven that starts at night. One of them is Swamiji. We don't know which one of them, but it said the one main of them is Swami Vivekananda came to the world brought by Sri Ramakrishna. So these Saptarishis and four Sanaka brothers all were the children of Brahma, all created. And this knowledge was imparted from Manu to all these sages and other patriarchs. So that's what Sri Krishna says. In um, in Gita also it is said in the Bhagavad Gita also that imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyam vivaswan manave praha manu rikshva kavi bravit. In the Bhagavad Gita also says imam vivasvate yogam. This yoga, this reality, this Vedas, I told first to Vivaswan. Vivaswan is resplendent God. Here it is called Brahma. There in that call is Son. But the same being. Some firstborn is come from God. To him he created and he gave this knowledge of Vedas. And from that supreme resplendent being called Brahma or Sun, whatever you call, is like shining like sun. That's why Vivaswan is called. Let us take it for Brahma only. So from Brahma it came Imam Vivasate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam. This uh, unchangeable, undecaying words of wisdom, that is Vedas, I imparted to the shining bright being called Brahma. And shining like sun. Vivaswan Manave Praha, that Vivaswan or the shining being, um, he told it to Manave, to Manu. There also comes Manu as the first sight of Brahma. So Manu Ikshvakave Bravit. And Manu told this to Ikshvaku. The Ikshvaku Vamsa, you know that Rama is from the Ikshvaku lineage, the very first king that he became the king, children were born. Like that thing, story of that goes on. So it was told like that, it was imparted to the king, and from that it came to us through the lineage of rishis. This knowledge of Vedas came to up to us up to this present time. So that's what it is said in the Satya Yuga. So many millions of years ago, billions of years ago, it was transmitted. It's the seventh human being was created, and order was created. Then it was transmitted by God to them, and then it came up to through by the process of Shishya Guru Shishya Parampara. It came up to us. That's what it is said. Even Vivasate Yogam Proktavan Ahamabhyam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manurikshvak Pravit. Sakale Neha Mahata Yogo Nasta Parantapa Saevayam Mayatitya Yoga Prokta Puratana. That ancient wisdom of yoga has been lost by because of kala, because of time. That mahata yoga has been lost because of great time, the change of time. In time, everything comes and goes. Even the knowledge of Vedas have gone. Now I am imparting this to you, Arjuna. Sakale neha mahata yogo brasta parantapa Saevayam mayate adya. I'm telling you this yoga. Yoga prokta, that yoga that has been told in the past, Puratana, that yoga, that very yoga I'm telling, it never gets old. It is always fresh. Knowledge never gets old. Knowledge is always fresh, though it might have come from olden times. That's what Sri Krishna says. So that's what. So we like to conclude today here only. Little less fun than what we generally do. So this is what verse 4 we studied today by Uddhava saying what to Sri Krishna saying and Uddhava to answer to Uddhava's question. Sri Krishna also said similar thing in the Gita. So we can compare how the Gita and Uddhava Gita, Bhagavad Gita and Uddhava Gita have similar notes, particularly this chapter. There's no story of Hamsa and all that in the Gita, Bhagavad Gita. But here is more that. So hear more about the Bhakti Yoga being said. Let us see how Sri Krishna says which path is greater, which path to follow to Uddhava's question, whether Bhakti Yoga is great. Maybe he will emphasize the Bhakti Yoga in this path. Let it be a secret and we'll continue in our next class of Uddhava Gita. Thank you very much for being with the Friday scripture class. And now with the closing chant, we close today's class. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmu. Thank you and good night to everyone from Vedanta Society of Houston.